Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another Eternal Sealed League video series. This is the fourth and final week of the first Eternal Sealed League and we're getting our last pack, an Empty Throne pack, so let's dive right in and see what we got this week. Alright. Ooh, we got a Predatory ManuS, so that is really good and kind of pulls us back into Combray Splash Primal potentially. The rest's pretty underwhelming, like Savant is okay. The Justice cards are pretty meh. Dormant Sentinel is solid and limited. And I mean, even the cards in the other colors are not very good. These two are decent, but probably not good enough in the end. So let's take a look. Okay, so yeah, I dropped a lot. I was like 500-ish last week towards the end when I checked, so this is just because a lot of people passed me. So I think we should be able to finish in the top 1000 at least. But yeah, I had a pretty bad run after the 4-1 in the video last time. I went 1-4, one of it being just a straight up disconnect timeout thing, where I just reconnected and then got the error message where it couldn't rejoin my game. So that was really frustrating. And I didn't even play the tiebreaker games last week, because I felt like it won't matter enough, because I won't be able to break into the top 100 anyway, most likely, so let's take a look at the deck. Like, I want to quickly revisit Shadow. I don't think there's remotely enough to make Shadow worth it. No, not really. Like, Streetwise Informant and Denouncer are nice, but that's about it. And yeah, I in the end went back to the Combray base deck because it seemed like it might be a bit better, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think with the cards that we got now, especially the Carnosaur, I think the chances are pretty high that this is the best thing we can do. So I'll just add some of the new tools and check what we're gonna do with it. This is a pretty decent option. This is not good enough, I think. And yeah, I mean in Primal, get the Savant. And Safe Return is a decent option to consider, and that's about it basically. Alright, so let's take a look. I got a bunch of the 3s, or like the flyers and stuff, because the marshals are really not that impressive, nor other weapons. Okay, so we have like 6 cards too many, so we gotta make some cuts. Not sure how much I like Ground Crew, honestly. I like Sauropod Wrangler a bit better now with Carnosaur and Dormant Sentinel also in the mix. But probably not, because we also have the familiars, which are more universal, ramp and stuff like that, so I think it's still not gonna be good enough. And Dormant Sentinel is probably just better than Scorestone Sentinel, and playing too many fatties is not good, because we don't really have much to power this out other than the Dormant Sentinel itself, and like Awakened Sentinel, which still makes this a 6-cost card. So yeah, I think we can safely cut this now. Really like the Savant though. I think it's a nice card that can randomly win games. Not sure about these two. Like for Safe Return we got Acolyte sort of to get a free power. We got 3 silences to rebuy, and we can obviously use it to protect some of our key units and rebuy Carnosaur now with Killer. So that is nice. Rebuying Linebreaker is not that impressive. Alright, so there's still a bunch we have to cut. I might just cut Mirror Image. Like, it is kind of nice if we use it on, say, a melee, the silencers, one of the bigger flyers or fatties. But it might be a bit too situational, especially for splash. And reducing our splash is gonna make our deck more stable, so I think I'll cut it. I didn't play it for most of the time, so there's no reason to be going overboard on it. Strength of the Many, something that I'm willing to consider cutting in a deck like this, because it's really not that great. And it's also expensive for 2. I feel like I could see cutting this in this more like, yeah, value-oriented late game deck. Dinosaur is a big deal. If I didn't have like 2 familiars, a Trailmaker and an Acolyte, I would consider running 19 lands, given that we also have a monument. But yeah, I think with all these cards we don't really need to or want to do that. Shielded Short Barrel is a potential cut. Card is solid, especially on like flyers, but it's not like insane or anything. It's nice with like Militant providing additional armor for Duelist Blade, for example, or just slapping it on an melee the turn after, stuff like that. But it's just not that great. So that's a potential cut. I think I might like Safe Return enough to keep it just cheap and flexible, and getting one of the flyers bigger, for example, can also be really nice, or just dropping an Amelie on 6 and stuff like that. Maybe we can consider cutting Town Watchman, but I've been surprisingly happy with this guy. Locks up the ground well, the Warcry sometimes does stuff. But maybe we have enough beefy guys now with Terrazon, Carnosaur stuff, so maybe just make our curve a little leaner. Maybe just cut the Aspirant in a deck like this. Like, I've been surprisingly impressed with how solid this card is late game, but until then it's not gonna do a whole lot. So I think at this point it's kind of between Aspirant and Shielded Short Barrel. I feel like I might like the weapon a little less than the unit, even if the unit is small for a long time. But the card actually has a lot of potential to win games later on. I think I want to try it like this. Yep, that's my deck for the last week. Let's do this. At least we got a good rare out of the pack, so that's nice. And yeah, gonna hop into the first placement game. Gonna record 5 of the 10 placement games, just like last time, to give you an idea how this new version does and plays out. And we'll see how much we can climb. Alright, so stay tuned for game 1 in a moment.